This is Andy Pearl for Boxing News. I'm joined by esteemed trainer Ronnie Shields here in Las Vegas. Ronnie, firstly, how are you?
Doing great.
I'm glad to hear it. Obviously, the return of a man on your shirt there, Jermall Charlo. Many considered him to be one of the best fighters in the world. He's had a tough couple of years. Just from your perspective, what's it been like trying to help him and guide him through his battles over these last 2 years?
Well, when a person has ups and downs, you try to help him as much as you can. And, so my thing was to always get him in the gym, let him continue to do work. And, he's fought the battle, but he's won that battle. Now he's back.
Now he's back. You've seen him in the gym. He's just done a huddle with the media and he said that he feels like these are his peak years now and that he doesn't feel like he's missed that window. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like these are Jermall's best years ahead of him?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing about it, a lot of it is mental. And mentally, man, he's in a great place right now. And I feel great that he feels great, And he's been working hard, giving us everything that he has. And, we're just ready to show the world that Jermall Charlo is back.
You mentioned kind of the advice and the help that Roy Jones has given him. What has Roy Jones brought to Jermall?
Well, Roy is a smart guy. And he's one of these guys that, he's done a lot for the sport of boxing. And that's what he needed. He needed to hear it from somebody that's a legend in the sport. And Roy did that for him.
Looking at the challenges of Jose Benavidez Jr, why is this the perfect fight for Jermall to reintroduce himself to boxing?
Well, it didn't make a difference whether it's Jose Benavidez or somebody else. The thing about it is we just needed somebody, in front of him, and that's all it comes down to. He feels great, and trust me, he's definitely back.
With so many potential big fights ahead, whether it be 160 or 168, is it important Jermall really kind of puts his foot on the mark on Saturday night, really produces something special to reintroduce himself?
I think, what Jermall has to do is just be himself, and he's always just been himself, even before, all the other problems that he was involved in with his life. So now it's just go out there, do what you know how to do. No pressure, just do what you know how to do, and that's the way we train, and that's the way we're going to fight.
This fight being at a catch weight, Ronnie, where do you see his future lying, 160 or 168?
Well, definitely the future could be 168. He can make 160, maybe once or twice more, but definitely, he's going into 168 pounds.
Just one or two more fights, maybe then at 160?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And then obviously looking at the 168, there's one fight in particular, Canelo Alvarez. There was a lot of talk of him previously maybe having a fight lined up. Obviously it ended up being Jermall instead. Is that the name which really kind of gets Jermall's appetite wet, the one which he really wants, Canelo Alvarez?
Oh, absolutely. He's been wanting Canelo for a long time. And it's, he could have had Canelo the last fight, but he just wasn't ready. And he knows himself, he knows who he is. So, but after this fight, we're not even thinking about Canelo right now. This fight is more important to him right now. So this is the focus. But after this fight, definitely, when names start coming at him, definitely Canelo Alvarez's name should be at the top.
I have to ask you, if Jermall's at his best, the best you've ever seen him, and he faces Canelo Alvarez, how do you feel like he goes about trying to defeat the man who is seen as the best at 168 currently?
I really and truly believe in my heart that Jermall Charlo, he can beat anybody. Whether it's Canelo Alvarez, anybody, it doesn't make a difference. I really and truly believe that he can win that fight. And the most important thing, though, is he knows it. And so you will be seeing it sooner or later.
Obviously, David Morrell as well, he's lined up, he's coming back in December. How's he looking?
David Morrell is looking great. He's really excited. He's like a kid in the candy store when it comes to fighting. He really enjoys boxing. He loves, putting on a performance in front of the fans. And he's definitely going to be ready. You're going to see a great David Morrell on December the 16th.
Everybody's been excited to see him in one of those big fights as well. We mentioned Canelo Alvarez. He's been touted to potentially face him. He's been spoken about potentially facing David Benavidez. Why so? Why do you believe that he's ready for those big fights when he's had so few in the pro ranks?
Hey, David Morrell, man, he's a champion. You know, although he only has 9 fights, this kid is a champion. And, you know, everybody says they want to fight him, but when it's time to sign the contract, everybody go away. So we're going to see. But sooner or later, they're going to have to face David Morrell Jr.
David Benavidez is the one which everybody would have liked to have seen a while back when there was talks around it. If he comes through Demetrius Andrade, that would be a fight which would deliver fireworks for the fans.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think that's really the fight the fans really want to see. But until it's signed, we have to wait and see.
What do you make of the main event on Saturday, Benavidez Andrade?
Man, I think it's going to be a great fight. I mean, both guys are really, really good fighters, you know, and I look at it as a 50-50 fight, you know, with a slight edge to Benavidez. But with Demetrius Andrade, man, this guy is a 2-division champion, you know, undefeated. You know, that tells you a lot right there, you know, that this guy, he's ready to go. And so, and Benavidez, man, he's such a good fighter, you know, throws a lot of punches, always in great shape. So this is going to be a fireworks that I think the fans will really like.
Ronnie, I have to ask you, as I've never spoken to you before, it's the first time. I know a couple of years ago when Anthony Joshua came over to the US and he was looking for a new trainer, he came and spent a bit of time with yourself. Can you just reflect on that time together for me, please? What you guys spoke about, what he was looking to bring into his boxing?
Well, you know, when he first came over, he was just looking for somebody that was going to push him to the next level. You know, he felt he had another level that he could have put his body through. So, you know, and, you know, he came over. We had a good 2 days here at my gym in Stafford, Texas. And, you know, we had a lot of talk. And then he flew me out to London. I went to London for a whole week. And, you know, I had a great time there, working with him there. You know, everything was great. But the only problem was they wanted me to train him in London. And at that time, I just had too many fights coming up. You know, I couldn't do it. You know, I don't neglect my fighters, you know, even though, you know, Joshua is a big name, but I couldn't neglect the guys that I already had. You know, I told him he was welcome to come to the States, come in my gym anytime, and, you know, I could work with him there and then have to leave for a fight, maybe for a week or two. That would have been fine. But, you know, he just wanted to train there. So we just couldn't come to an agreement.
Obviously, in the end, he teamed up with Derek James, and he did come over and he spent a couple of camps with Derek. Do you feel any kind of frustrations that maybe you never had that chance if he'd have been more open to coming to the US and training with you for a camp?
Well, I think, you know, after he fought Usyk again and lost, then he realized he had to do that, you know, and, you know, he hadn't fought Usyk again with me when I was in talks with him. So, you know, I think he realized that, hey, maybe I should try and go over to the States and do it. And he did, and, you know, it worked out for him. So,
you mentioned that Usyk fight. You never had a chance to work with him for that rematch. Looking at kind of how things set up for him now, we've seen him take more of a meticulous style. He's a bit more thoughtful with everything that he does. He's not as aggressive as what he maybe used to once be, which has maybe drawn a few criticisms from people within the sport, wanting to see him go back to that. What are your thoughts on anybody who's been critical of Anthony Joshua?
Well, you know, people don't realize fighters get older. They get older, they get slower. You know, the mind is not as sharp as it used to be. You know, look, you have to understand, you know, he can't fight the way he fought when he was 19, 20 years old. That don't happen when you get older. Your body, you know, you abuse your body, you know, all these years, and you want your body, you know, and I'm sure he takes care of his body as best as he can, but, you know, you can't, you know, but you can't take your body away from aging. Your body's going to age, so everything is going to be different with your body. So you have to work with how your body feels at that moment, at that time when you're training. And, you know, he'll never be the Joshua he was when he first started. That Joshua is gone, just like so many other fighters. You know, you're not going to be the same throughout your whole career. So you have to slow it down. And, look, he's still one of the best fighters in the world, and you know, and if anybody don't think that, then look, he's been proving it in the ring, and that's where it's at.
What do you make of his fight with Otto Wallin in December?
I think it's going to be a great fight, but I think Joshua's going to knock him out.
Ronnie, it's a pleasure to talk to you for the first time. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ronnie.